Micron just exploded 19% and crossed a $1 trillion valuation in a single day. Here's everything that moved the market. Tuesday, May 26, 2026, your U.S. market wrap. Markets closed higher today. A U.S. airstrike on Iran raised fresh anxiety about Middle East peace talks, but optimism around AI completely offset it. Semiconductors led the charge, and the S&P 500 hit an all-time high. The S&P 500 closed up 0.61%. The tech-heavy Nasdaq jumped 1.19%. The standout, Micron, exploded 19% after a bullish call from a UBS analyst, pushing it past a $1 trillion market cap. UBS says Micron's long-term supply deals give the stock room to more than double from here. Other memory chip makers rode the wave too. Seagate up 4%, Western Digital up 8%. Qualcomm climbed about 4.5% after Bloomberg reported it signed an AI supply deal with ByteDance, TikTok's parent company. On geopolitics, the Trump administration says there's progress in negotiations to end the roughly 3-month war with Iran. Trump said talks are underway to extend the ceasefire and reopen the Strait of Hormuz. But early Tuesday, U.S. Central Command announced it carried out defensive airstrikes in southern Iran. Targets reportedly included missile launchers and Iranian vessels attempting to lay sea mines. Oil bounced briefly on the news, but U.S. crude still finished down 2.81% at $94.89 a barrel. Secretary of State Marco Rubio struck a cautious tone, saying a final deal to end the conflict could take a few more days. Meanwhile, Iranian media reports Iran is demanding the release of $24 billion in frozen overseas assets. On the economy, war-driven inflation worries weighed on sentiment, and May's U.S. Consumer Confidence Index slipped slightly. The market's now watching Thursday's PCE inflation data and GDP report. Here's what the pros are saying. Kyle Rada of Capital.com. The market is betting the war ends peacefully, and strong earnings are pulling buyers back in. Jeffrey Roach of FHN Financial. Consumer sentiment could have fallen much harder, but people expect the job market to improve toward year-end. Adam Crisafulli of Vital Knowledge. Hopes for an Iran deal plus continued AI optimism are driving a solid rally. Looking ahead to Wednesday, May 27th, watch the Richmond Fed Services Index, a 5-year Treasury auction, and the Fed's Beige Book. That's your market wrap. I'm Sol, your daily U.S. market story in under 3 minutes. Markets move fast. I make them make sense. Quick one before you go. Micron passed $1 trillion, real or a bubble? Tell me below and follow so you don't miss tomorrow.